Imagine working for the BBC and reading this headline in the Daily Telegraph this morning. BBC to send enforcers to the homes of over 75s who refuse to pay licence fee. I would feel ashamed. And it was no exaggeration, that headline either. The corporation is coming after the 260,000 members of our greatest generation who have as yet been unable or unwilling to pay their licence fee. Now, we know many of the heartbreaking stories of why so many of these people just can't afford to do that. War pensioners forced to choose between paying for heating or the TV. And remember, the TV is so often their lifeline to the wider world and the thing that provides them with company. The BBC is a vast organisation full of astronomical waste, and there is absolutely no excuse for them to fail to pick up the bill for the over 75s. The fact they didn't says so much about their priorities. But to go to the lengths of hunting down non-paying pensioners as some sort of Beeb police force, well, I'm sorry, it's just grim. Lord Botham is right to accuse the BBC of using Orwellian language and threatening to send round the boys. And I was quite shocked because a BBC spokesperson, even though they used the type of corporate speak that justifies these sorts of decisions, still admitted today the result is the same. This is what the BBC said. From the autumn, subject to COVID restrictions, customers who have not made arrangements may receive a customer care visit from a specially trained support team to assist them in becoming correctly licensed. We are now planning how we arrange customer care visits and are looking at a range of options. Now look, 9 out of 10 over 75s have already agreed to pay the BBC poll tax. Isn't that enough for them? Do they not realise that forcing many of the remaining 10% to pay up will see them forced to make unconscionable sacrifices? And what about the 80 and 90-year-olds who refuse to pay? Are they really going to be fined, £1,000 or jailed? Shame on the BBC. The government is right to rule out the use of mandatory vaccine passports. According to the Daily Mail, they will not be compulsory at mass gatherings like sports events and concerts following Freedom Day, as originally was planned. But I think ministers should go one step further and ban private organisations like the Premier League from using them too. Vaccine passports create a two-tier society. And while I'm personally very much pro-vaccines, I fully respect the right of individuals to make a choice about what goes in their body. To suggest that choice precludes them from living in wider society is a dangerous path to go down, especially given the most vaccine resistant come from underprivileged and ethnically diverse communities. But the way to win hearts and win over minds is with positive education, not banning people from being part of events in what's meant to be a free society. Well, that didn't last long, did it? Apparently, the country's biggest COVID hypocrite, Matt Hancock, is already plotting his political comeback. Where does that man get off? I mean, his arrogance knows no bounds. But Matt Hancock is facing a backlash in his own constituency, with some moves afoot to deselect him before the next election. And as the Conservative councillor Ian Holder put it, let me repeat, Conservative councillor, I am furious. I do not include his personal affair, which in anybody's mind is quite sordid, but he has been standing up there for a year pontificating to everybody in the country. That's what I found really contemptible. Now, Councillor Holder, I like this man. He speaks my language. He went on. Think of people who haven't been able to bury their mothers or fathers. There he is, just groping away, hands everywhere, tongues everywhere, out of his bubble. Perhaps, rather than plotting a cabinet comeback, Mr Hancock needs to focus on winning over his Tory party base back home. An apology to them wouldn't go amiss. And finally, I'm delighted to hear about the plans for a massive event outside Buckingham Palace to celebrate the life of the Queen in the Queen's Platinum Jubilee next June. A special bank holiday will culminate with a street party that's described as a sensory explosion of colour, carnival, music, theatre. even featuring misbehaving corgis and the Queen's image on a giant helium balloon. Nicholas Coleridge, the co-chairman of the organising committee, said the enormous event will act as a reopening ceremony for Great Britain and an opportunity for the country to emerge re-energised and renewed, expressing optimism and confidence. We have never needed that more. I wish it was happening this year.